Tresco, miscellaneous hair. This is where I take you to see offbeat, interesting and quirky tourist attractions. Today I've been to Tresco, which is part of the archipelago that makes up the Isles of Scilly. In particular, I've been to the beautiful Tresco Gardens, so come on and take a walk with me. Don't forget to like and don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in the video.
Tresco features in blue on this map and is the second largest of the 5 inhabited isles of the Isles of Scilly. It is leased from the Duchy of Cornwall by the Dorian Smith family, who run it primarily as a holiday resort. Just to reiterate, I've been to Tresco twice. There are 3 quays on Tresco, and this is New Grimsby Quay, overlooking New Grimsby Sound. It's where we arrived during our first visit to the island in 2022. This is going to be a photo montage of pictures taken during mostly that time, as my videography, taken recently on the island, came out a tad naff. Our walk to Tresco Abbey Gardens took us past these stone monuments. The variety of scenery is the result of deformation till deposits occurring after the last ice age, that is, 115,000 to 11,700 years ago. We couldn't help but notice that the temperature on this island appeared to be 10 degrees warmer than it had been on St Mary's. This is the effect of the Gulf Stream, which creates a frost-free environment, and the fact that Tresco is tucked in between St Martin's and Briar, and therefore sheltered. Here we are passing Tresco stores. This is a photo I managed to salvage from my recent videography. As you can see, I've played with it quite a little bit to make it look respectable. My favourite flowers on the whole of the islands were these beautiful tropical succulents called Aeonium arboreum Zwartkop. The word means black head in Dutch. The Great Pool is one of 2 lakes on the island, and the geography definitely changes from rocky to sparse to fecund. The island is car-free and easy to walk, being only 2.5 miles long by 1 mile wide. This looks like some kind of drainage grate or irrigation system. Tresco was definitely the most verdant of the islands we visited. We concentrated on Tresco Abbey Gardens, but there are other things to do on Tresco as well, such as King Charles's Castle, Cromwell's Castle and the Blockhouse. For us, though, they were best viewed from neighbouring islands. Tresco Abbey, and we weren't allowed to wander in here, as the Dorian Smiths still reside here. Tresco Abbey Gardens are fantastic. Do not leave the island without visiting them. The garden was created in the early 19th century by Augustus Smith, after he had taken over the lease of the islands in 1834. A man of independent means, he realised that the fantastic climate lent itself to the growing of an exotic garden that wouldn't be able to flourish on the British mainland. It has been in the hands of this same family for 5 generations, with each generation making its contribution, be that corresponding with other influential gardeners from places such as Kew, or regeneration after events like the disastrous Great Storms of 1987 and 1990. On our way around to the entrance, we passed the Abbey Pool. We also passed the Valhalla Museum, which sits alongside the gardens and was purpose-built in 1870 to house the collection of figureheads from the many wrecks around the islands. Standing on the entrance bridge, watching red squirrels feed. Red squirrels were introduced to the island in 2012. Red squirrels are much rarer than grey, and we saw evidence of many of the latter in the Morab Gardens, Penzance. They are not easy to photograph when they're dancing around a tree trunk. During our second visit to the gardens, our little friends seemed much more abundant. From this angle on the incline, you can hardly see the shell house, hidden behind this ornamental fountain. A closer view of the fountain lady, and she looks quite serene. The shell house was designed by Lucy Dorian Smith, wife of Robert Dorian Smith, following the devastating Great Storm of 1987. The hexagonal building contains native shells. It brings to mind the shell grottos in both Margate, Kent, and Alaronde in Exmouth. A closer view, and the colours are absolutely gorgeous. A fantastic job has been done here. I loved the mosaic borders as well, especially the pretty painted tiles. Looking down from the shell house and towards the Argave fountain. Looking up through the Mediterranean garden towards the shell house. The Argave fountain sculpture piece is by Newlyn-born Tom Leeper. Looking down the middle terrace, through the greenery and out towards the sea. You really could be somewhere other than England, as plants from all over the temperate world feature within this space. The elephant and fist represent the unusual family crest. The front view of the little waterfall, and you can see the elephant and fist sitting above the nook. Stunning purple flowers, and this place really is a riot of colour and texture. A view up to the nook, looking over a soporifically tinkling fountain. Another little middle terrace nook, but this one is purely for plants to sit in, and not humans. Neptune is actually the figurehead from SS Thames, a steamship wrecked in the area. Here is the full view of the length of the Neptune steps. Remember, don't forget to hit subscribe, hit that like button and click on the notifications bell. You also might want to check out my blog. The link is on my page. A pretty little arbour with a seat beside it so you can sit and relax a while. This area was inaccessible, but to the right of the photo is what they call the shelter belt, hardy, salt-tolerant, quick-growing pines which protect the garden from winter gales. The cube sculpture is also by artist Tom Leeper. The gardens are all about the flowers, and here you can see black-eyed Susans forming a carpet in front of part of the old abbey. It is around here that it's believed that Augustus Smith began his first careful planting. Another entrance to the abbey, with Abbey Hill beyond it. Benedictine monks settled here between 1042 and 1066, and the priory is mentioned in an 1120 charter at the time of Henry I. He ruled between 1100 and 1135. The priory would have been totally abolished during the dissolution of the monasteries, which occurred between 1536 and 1541 by Henry VIII. I'm not sure who the gravestones belong to, but I did read somewhere that they belong to sailors shipwrecked onto the islands. Perhaps you could let me know in the comments if you know better. Standing in the palm circle, looking up towards the abbey, I just like the mysterious little door to the right, but I don't believe it went anywhere. Shades of the secret garden, methinks. We chanced upon this well only during our second visit to the gardens. The super dean just had to gawp and shout down into the water. If you look closely, you can see his face reflected. The Tresco children bronze sculpture is symbolic of the freedom of the Isles of Scilly. It's by David Wynne and was unveiled by Princess Diana in 1991. The children are Adam, Francis and Michael, the children of Robert and Emma Dorian Smith, that is, the owner of Tresco Abbey and his former wife. Giant trees and beautiful lawns made for a lovely place to sit a while. Here is the super dean, chilling out under a tree and catching up on his social media. The gardens are certainly very evocative and brought to mind Kirstenbosch in Cape Town. It's a long while since I've been there though, so my memories might be a bit faded. A heavily doctored still taken from my recent disastrous filming. I just wanted to keep it because I love the avenue view between the palm trees. Here is the vegetable garden with some massive pumpkins popping up at the back. Here are some chickens tucked away beneath fruit bushes. The Roman altar was originally found on the garrison on St Mary's in the 1860s. The bowl on the top was added during Victorian times. To one side of the gardens sits the ancient stone seat. We headed over to the open-air Valhalla Museum, And this bronze gun is from the 1707 wreck of the Association. Here we have an inquisitive super dean inspecting it. This former cresset was on display here. A cresset is a metal container used for illumination and containing lit oil, grease, coal or wood. This one was used at St Agnes Lighthouse. Augustus Smith developed his collection of figureheads, which first sat on the Abbey Terrace. The chap in the black jacket to the right is from the Palinurus, which was wrecked off St Martin's in 1848. All of the 17-strong crew drowned. The figureheads are both beautiful and evocative. The lady with the green sash is a figurehead from the Circa, wrecked off St Mary's in 1893. Their meaning is unclear, but the fact that these come from wrecks is a sad reminder of lives lost and the power of the sea. In total, there are 28 figureheads here. The figureheads date from the latter half of the 19th century. Figureheads are decorative carvings which sit on the bows of ships. Did I have a favourite? I'm unsure, but I did love the colourful segment you see here in the centre of the photo. We sat outside the cafe and had our coffee. On the table was a pot containing my favourite Aeonium, Arboreum, Zwartkopf. These are very strange flowers. If you cut one of the heads off, four grow in its place. These little birds fly all around the Isles of Scilly, both inside and out. I didn't know what they were called at the time, but I've since found out that they are called turnstones. Gaia, Mother Earth, is another David Wynne sculpture and dates from 1990. I love the way that Leitchen has taken over this seat. We were picking up our boat from Carnair Quay, and to get to that, we had to walk across the airfield and heliport. About 150 people permanently live on Tresco, although that raises in the summer due to seasonal staff. Here we are looking out over the rugged yet picturesque vista. Here we are standing on Carnair Slipway, with St Martin's visible over the water. I do hope you've enjoyed this video. Remember, don't forget to check out my blog as well, and also take a look at my other social media. All the links are on my page.
Thank you for watching. Remember, don't forget to hit that like button, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I will see you next time.